St. Anne Catholic Church is a vibrant community that dates back to 1955. For over 58 years, our church has been ministering to the needs of our community. And while facilities and faces have changed over the years, one thing remains the same: our commitment to Christ, to one another, and to the betterment of our community. Our church today is an active community comprised of over 900 households. Led by a dedicated pastor and strong core of lay leaders and volunteers, there is an increasing number of ways that people of all ages can participate in the spiritual, educational, social, and service ministries of our church. Yet, despite our strong heritage of activity and accomplishment, some significant challenges still remain. Since 1955, our parish has served a growing population. In fact, over the last 10 years, our membership has more than doubled. In 2001, an expansion plan was developed. Holy Family Hall was the first step of our plan and was built to serve as a social hall and to support religious education. Holy Family Hall became our main worship space due to the space limitations of our current church. Ultimately, we need a permanent place of worship that will enable us to regain a sense of sacredness for our place of worship, and the space that we have available to us cannot always accommodate this quest. Yet our yearning for a new worship space is not solely defined by our burgeoning membership. It is also defined by our desire to have an appropriate space worthy of being called the house of God, that is reflective of our community and our communal rituals and practices, a place that reminds people of what it means to be and worship as Catholics. Since the construction of Holy Family Hall, our membership has increased by over 34%, and the growth is expected to continue over the next several years. Our church currently seats 300 comfortably, while Holy Family Hall seats 540 with a standing room capacity of about 700. With nearly 1,000 registered households and a total of 2,500 parishioners, Mass attendance often exceeds capacity, especially during the 11 a.m. Mass on Sunday. Since we worship in a place designed for multi-use purposes, we are unable to enjoy some of the more traditional aspects of a church, which include things like confessionals and a permanent baptismal font. Because of this, some of our parishioners choose to attend Mass at the cathedral to experience a traditional church setting. Many members have expressed a desire for pews and kneelers in the new church. While standing is a posture of respect, kneeling is a sign that we're humbling ourselves before God. It is the ultimate posture of submission and surrender, and many members of our parish feel that kneeling is an integral part of Catholic spirituality. Furthermore, the lack of pews prevents us from storing things like hymn books, which must be collected and stored in a separate area, utilizing space that could be used to store other things. Our existing baptismal font has been a temporary solution until we move into the new church, and the current worship space offers little room for our choir and musicians. Additionally, our gathering space is also inadequate. This space is not only small, but it is also used as a storage space. The lack of space also keeps us from comfortably visiting with our parish family before and after Masses and other sacred and special liturgical celebrations. Furthermore, since Holy Family Hall was originally designed as a multi-purpose building, it has the capability to be set up for both Masses and events. Due to this factor, we experience logistical challenges, and we are also quite limited on when events can be held at the church. Finding venues off-site is more practical in most cases, but not always cost-effective. Approximately 20% of our membership is active military personnel that rely on St. Anne for religious education programs. Currently, our programs from preschool through high school have reached capacity due to space constraints in Holy Family Hall. Providing adequate space for our youth is essential in order to provide a quality program to enrich the future generations of our church family. Our property has approximately 100 parking spaces, if you include the grassy areas which people utilize for parking. Much like we have run out of room to worship, we desperately need sufficient parking to accommodate our growing membership. To address these needs, we have an ambitious plan. It calls for the construction of a new, more ample and appropriate worship space. We also plan to convert the existing worship space into its originally intended purpose as a large group multi-use facility. Our new worship space will serve as a suitable reminder to all those who approach our new church of the reverence and respect that we should all have for God's home. Our new church will be adjacent to Holy Family Hall. The church will be a traditional cruciform design with Savannah gray brick. It will also model classic European architecture while incorporating Ford-era materials and designs, Palladian-style windows, and an exposed flying buttress design. The new space will be approximately 24,000 square feet, which will enable us to comfortably seat 1,000 members for each Mass and has been designed to accommodate generational parish growth. By including items like statues, Stations of the Cross, and pews with kneelers in our new worship space, we will finally be able to enjoy the more traditional aspects of our church. And although our church will be traditional by design, we will have state-of-the-art technology in terms of lighting and sound insulation, which will enhance our worship experience. The exterior of the new church will complement the design of our existing buildings. The addition of pews and kneelers will enable us to partake in an integral part of Catholic spirituality and will also give a more traditional look and feel to the church. The pews will also allow more room for seating as well as provide space to store our hymn books. Our baptismal font will now be a permanent basin that will be in the main body of the church. Now, when we celebrate baptisms during Mass, we will be able to gather around the font in communal celebration of this special initial sacrament, which welcomes us into our faith. The design of the sanctuary will also accommodate the performance needs of the choir and musicians. In addition, the choir and musicians will have more space to accommodate their storage needs. Our new church will feature a larger gathering space, which provides an area for our church family to socialize before and after Mass. This space will also accommodate the needs of other sacred and special services. With the addition of our new worship space, we will now also be able to utilize Holy Family Hall as a multi-use building as it was originally intended. This will give us the flexibility to utilize this space for things like Vacation Bible School and larger events like wedding receptions. Furthermore, we will finally have a true social hall, which will enable us to enhance our programs and services. With the addition of the new church, we will now have dedicated classroom space for our youth and children's program. Additional parking will also be added to accommodate more than 300 vehicles. To address our needs and plans, we are initiating an intensive fundraising effort titled the Faith in Action campaign. Our aim with this important effort is to raise the funds required to construct a permanent worship space to continue to enhance the ministry of Christ. Our minimum goal is $2,500,000, which is the minimum needed to move forward with the groundbreaking for the construction of our new church. A challenge goal of $5 million has also been set, which will enable us not only to move forward with the construction of the church, but will also minimize the amount of debt that will be incurred. Finally, a miracle goal of $7,500,000 has also been set, which will enable us to construct the new church as well as complete our day chapel, leaving us with little to no debt while completing our master plan. All members are asked to consider gifts above and beyond what they give in their regular offerings and other contributions. And there is a variety of ways that gifts can be made. Long-term subscriptions, or pledges payable over 3 years, are easier for most and essential to meeting our goal, since it would be impractical, if not impossible, to reach our objectives with one-time out-of-pocket gifts. Gifts may be made in monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual installments. A 10% initial investment toward your total pledge is encouraged. Non-cash gifts are an additional or alternative way you can support our cause. You may, for example, wish to consider gifts in kind, such as labor and materials, gifts of securities, such as stocks and bonds, gifts of real estate, such as land, homes, vacation and rental properties, or even personal property, such as artwork, automobiles, jewelry, and antiques. And finally, you can also choose to support our efforts through deferred gifts. These are gifts that can be given or arranged for now, but will not be received until later, and include gifts through a person's will by bequest, gifts of life insurance policies or annuities, and trust arrangements. There are also a number of very special gift opportunities available to donors of qualifying gift amounts. These opportunities allow people the unique chance to designate their gifts to a particular part of the project and dedicate them in honor or memory of those they choose. Donors of specific gift items will have their names and/or the names of those they are honoring with their gifts inscribed directly on the item given or on special plaques or nameplates placed on or near the item where appropriate. In addition, all donors, regardless of the size of their gift, will have their names listed in a special bulletin insert announcing campaign results, as well as on a special donor wall or donor book that will be displayed in a prominent and visible place within our facilities. But whatever the gift or method of making it may be, please be assured that your support is both urgently needed and will be greatly appreciated. Through the prayerful, volunteer, and financial support of many, and the extraordinary support of a few, we will succeed in our task. Won't you please join us in this exciting and essential effort to better our service to one another, to our community, and to Christ?